Hello, hello. I was like, I feel like we need intro music.
Dun,
No?
dun,
No? You're not feeling it today, Wulwyn?
dun,
No?
dun, dun, dun. Da, 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 da. Not goodbye, but hello.
I know. I was like, no.
You thought I was gonna say goodbye? No. Hell or What would you do as an intro music to this
I
for
don't
today?
know.
Hello, is it us you're looking for? We can see it in your eyes.
I love it. I love it.
How
All
are
righty,
you?
guys. Let's get it started. Do you want to do the intro today, Wulwyn, or you want me to kick it
Sure.
off?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is PPP Q&A with Sarah and Wulwyn. I'm your co-host, Wulwyn Porte, and
Sarah Madras.
this is the 23rd day of March. I'm the process part of People Plus Process, and I've been doing this for roughly 16 to almost 20 years now. So it's what I do is we go in and we ensure that your business has the proper systems and processes to be able for you to work on the business and not in the business. Sarah?
And I am the people part. So my name is Sarah Madras, and I am a licensed mental health therapist turned mindset transformation expert and certified Dare to Lead facilitator based on the research of Brene Brown. I transform overwhelmed six-figure hustlers into seven-figure leaders so they can have more freedom, wealth, and impact through the power of a high-performing, loyal, trustworthy team.
Excellent.
And our two superpowers combined help you move your business further and faster, rather than having to work with two different people and tell your story over again and take 6 months rather than 3 months, all that jazz. So today we're talking about a topic that I feel like does not get talked about often enough and needs to be talked about more and more and more, right? And that is the question that came in, and it came in not just once, but like multiple times last week.
Correct.
In some different form, right?
Yes.
So the question was, how do I cope with everything that's going on? How do I handle the never-ending pressure and responsibilities and being home all the time and not having an office anymore to be able to go to and decompress, and all the pressure and the responsibility for that CEOs experience of, maintaining and leading a team all the time and looking out for everybody, and making sure that the business stays afloat, of the pressure of knowing that it's not just their family that they're providing for, but that business provides for, the hundreds of employees that they have, or the 5 employees that they have on their team, that level of pressure and responsibility, and how to cope with that.
I know you didn't say, well, and what are your thoughts, but I know that's what you said.
Yeah, so I was like,
I the most times the pressure exists. I'm not going to overlook that. I'm not going to downplay the pressures. I think I heard a story of a CEO. Was speaking with him. So I was part of the Thai Carolinas. So that's entrepreneurs within the North Carolina area. This Arun was his name. And I said, Arun, tell me about Thai. And he says, man, Thai Carolinas was going down a drain. It wasn't Thai, it was his company. His company was going down a drain, and he there was a CEO who was there, and he took over. When he took over, everybody were disgruntled, they were upset. So imagine that kind of pressure that's on him. And he says what he did was he went in the room and he told them, listen, Nothing is hidden. I'm going to tell you every single thing about this business. One, we're in the red. Two, we're going way under. Three, and he just went down the list. And he goes, I don't have a solution. Here's what I have. I have the team here.
Mhm.
I have us. So let's put pen to paper. Let's put our heads down. Let's create the solution, because every one of you have been here when this company was successful, when it was going down, and where it is now. And we will stay together and pick it up. And he says that that was one of the aha moments of his life, thinking that as the CEO, I'm thinking I am the one who should come up with solutions.
Mhm.
You're not, you're a leader.
Right.
Where does it say that in whatever literature that the leader must be the one to come up with solutions? We put too much on ourselves. We put too much on ourselves where we need to step back and ask the questions, because the people who are working, because that's always a people first, the people who are working on the front lines, ask them their view, and trust me, you will get excellent suggestions. And
Mhm.
that he told me
Yeah.
that stress that he had prior to going into that room and thereafter never came back, because he didn't hide anything from them, and they all got on
Mhm.
the table and worked, and that company did turn around.
Yep. And as the CEO and head of the company, you can't know all the ins and outs of everything all the time. And so those frontline workers, they're the ones that are doing it every single day. And so they're the ones that are going to know, hey, this is something we can implement to make it better. This is something that here's an idea to tweak this, to save money here, to things like that. And
Yes.
so instead of viewing it as I'm lonely at the top and I have to do everything on my own, shifting it to that communal view of we are in this together. Like what I say to my team, I'm like, yeah, I'm the captain of the ship and we are interconnected, but we're in the ship together. And
Yeah.
I am acutely aware that I cannot do this without you guys, just like I'm acutely aware that it's my responsibility to invest in you in order for you to be successful.
Correct.
We are interconnected.
Correct.
And so I love what you said of really shifting that perspective of instead
Mhm.
of the pressure is all on me, of how do I solve everything? How do I handle everything? How do I manage everything? And so I feel like that goes to the core of the problem culturally, right? So our culture has shifted to this hyper autonomous badge of honor of doing ultra independence when we are not wired to function that way. We are wired for connection, for belonging, for community. Like if COVID has taught us anything, it has taught us that. Like the rising suicide rates, the rising rates of depression, anxiety, substance abuse, were not meant for isolation and to try to be doing parenting, schooling,
Mm.
business,
Business.
leadership. We're not meant to be doing that all on our own in isolation. Why do you think back in the day it was communities and tribes and they did things together?
Mhm.
And they did it like this was their lane and I stay in this lane and I hand the baton to you and then you take it and you move us further. Everything was done together.
Correct. Correct.
And we moved so far away from that that people feel even in a crowded room like they're still isolated because all that pressure is on them. Or head of households, all the pressure is on them as head of household to provide and to do all the things and to be the strong one.
Mhm.
That goes against how we are genetically neurologically wired. Why, like we're we're
Yeah.
going against who we are.
As you were saying this, I'm thinking on. So let's talk about CEOs for a minute. Yeah, yeah. The reason why I think CEOs think that they should be the ones to do it. The position we've placed CEOs as gods in 2021 in this season. Let's just say this season is, and I'm talking about 2000 till now, where they when you look at the compensation package, there are millions of dollars based on the success of the company. But
Mhm.
the compensation package of the people who are working is so minuscule. It's meager,
Disproportionate. Hmm.
disproportionate to what it's supposed to be. I think the CEO makes $20 million, and that 1 million, 20, $30 million package bonus that comes if they're successful, so split that with all the people who are truly working.
Hmm.
Because remember, we said from the beginning, he goes to the people and say, hey, tell me what's going on. But that doesn't happen. The CEO, I'm God.
Hmm.
I am the one who is being paid his bonus. I am the one who's being looked up to, and I got this compensation package, and I'm proud and prideful, and unfortunately, I I don't know the percentage, but the ones who would really think that are demagogues, and who thinks that they are gods, that's the saddest one to work for,
Hmm.
because they don't know it all. But
Right.
because we have raised them to that platform, that pressure comes, because now they're thinking, oh man, I've been paid all this money. If I go and ask, that's not what a leader is, but that's what a leader truly is. A
Hmm.
leader leads however he goes and he inquires, what's
Yeah.
going on the front lines? How do I do this? So we've created some of these suicides. We've created some of the depression. We've created
Hmm.
all of these things because we've put Sarah, what do you say? Sarah, let us know what we should do. Sarah. And
Right.
Sarah's like, oh my goodness, tell me, hold up. Did you see the movie Yes Day?
Hmm.
So, hey, CEO, give your people yes days. Like, tell me what you guys need to do in order for us to be successful. Look what
Right.
happens to the family there after yes day. Like,
Hmm.
oh, mom's fun. Didn't know mom was fun. Didn't
Yeah.
know we could make all this money, because you make more money smiling
Right.
than
Yeah.
frowning.
Yeah. Well, and it's that sense of I have to be the strong one, and so then what is that message, and what are you modeling for the entire culture within your company? Is you're modeling that people have to be strong and have to never show vulnerabilities, or never, you know what I mean? They can't be human, because that's all it is. So then you're creating a culture of people have to be robotic perfectionists rather than humans. And so if we create the culture, if we shift that and have conversations about, hey, I'm going to model it from the top of, we're going to have mental health days, and we're going to have trainings around, uh, healthy coping skills, around mental health, around balance. I'm not going to create a culture within the company where we're working 80 hours a week. Like, what kind of things can leaders do in order to model that, so that everyone in that culture knows, hey, if I have a problem, if I am struggling, instead of me continuing to smile and wear a mask and grinning and bearing it, and my productivity and my work is somewhere is going to suffer,
Yes.
whether it's my family life, whether it's my productivity at work, something is going to suffer and eventually break, because it can't handle everything pushing on that stress point alone, right?
Yes.
Just so they call it, so Glennon, who's an author, she calls it, and my dad owned a construction company, a lumber yard and everything like that. And so I grew up, we were helping my dad build the deck and different things like that. And it's called sistering. And when you're building something, and you know this, well, when you were freaking building houses and remodeling things, one beam cannot hold the entire load of that roof or of that structure.
Speak to
And
me.
so they put two other beams next to it in order to take and support the load together, sistering of the joints. And so that is how we are supposed to function as a society, is going, okay, I cannot carry this load, because if I'm on that one plank and that pressure point keeps pushing down on me, and that whole load of that roof the wood is going to splinter, it's going to weaken, it's going to crack, and the whole house is the roof is going to cave in on you.
Yes, yes. Wow, Sarah, that community piece, that, joining of forces in order to conquer, to withstand the pressures. So similar to what we said in the beginning, the guy comes in and says, tell us what we need to do. Everybody bring in your ideas. When you were speaking on this, I when you said shift the culture, be humans, it allowed me to, so about 2 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, in my business, I was sitting and I was looking at numbers and it was dismal. It's like, this isn't where it's supposed to be. How can it be? um I'm supposed to be I'm doing what I was told to do, and this isn't happening. And I think and this is what CEOs, you must have, and we spoke about this earlier, you must have a community. And we just talked about it, a sister, and it could be part of the business model or outside community. Similar CEOs, other CEOs, because you're not in a silo, you're not an island. And I remember you and I were talking, and I looked at, and I told you, and be somewhere where you can be vulnerable, where you can speak, and you know that it's going to stay there. Don't just go and give your pearls to swine, because then you will see it snorting it out in the in the street, and you're like, oh, why are you bringing my stuff out here? But we talked about it, and in the process of an hour, 2 hours, I think, I went from controlled to crying to snotting, and believe it or not, I cussed. Which I don't.
Wulwyn never
I
cusses.
don't cuss. I don't. But I found out I could cuss, and I did the F-ing one and the S hit one, and I was like, oh. But and I guess who I was talking to. I was talking to Sarah, but more importantly, I was talking to God. I was talking to God, and I expressed myself. I expressed myself. Oh, I expressed myself. But here's the deal. So we're talking about pressure. I had that pressure. I had Sarah to talk to, earthly, and I had, so my vertical and my horizontal relationships. I had my vertical I was talking to, and Sarah was seeing. Wasn't that a crazy? I had to see, if we didn't record it, but I think I'm going, Sarah, oh, but you, God, and I go, oh, but Sarah, everything is good. I look crazy for those moments. I mean, Sarah, I know you're a Miss Therapist.
I
And
know, I'm like,
look
it's
crazy.
not crazy to me,
I
but I feel
know.
what you're saying. You felt out of control.
I was out of
It was
control.
purging. Yeah.
Yes, and I just went through that phase, and then at the end, we're like, it's going to be okay. Now, imagine if I didn't have that, and even my wife to go and talk to, because there are certain things, believe it or not, certain business things that you're not going to talk to your spouse. Your spouse is there to talk about. I can talk to her about business, but I couldn't have talked, and we did say it. Verlin should come in here, and I'm like, nah, we're okay with that. Let's just do it with us, right? And the process was, after I had purged, after I had stated that, do you think I wanted to commit suicide after that? Heck no. I was like, felt good.
Yeah,
And
that release.
8 hours later, the solution appeared. Boom. So Sarah, go
But the
ahead.
solution wouldn't have appeared if you didn't have that outlet to purge it, if you didn't have that cleanse, right? And so in that moment, you were carrying the load, and you were like, Sarah, come sister with me, and God, come sister with me. And so I was one of and God was the other, and we were sistering you. We were the joists that were holding you up, so that you could completely fall in and release it and surrender to all of it and purge it all out, in order to clear that out, to make room for the solution to come and appear to you.
Wow. But check this out though, Sarah. There are some people who can't, who not can't, Some people can't. But some people who don't have, who haven't created this community so that they could purge.
Right.
Because then I'm going to go one step backward. Have you been an ear, Mr. CEO or Mr. CEO, Miss CEO, for
Right.
someone to lean on
Yeah.
so
I
that
love that. Mm-hmm.
time in future that they can be for you to lean on? Have you been a joist for someone?
Right.
Or are you thinking that you're going to do this singularly? I don't need anybody. You do need people.
Yep. We all need each other, no matter how high up the ladder. And if that's the thing, if you're like, because I'm not saying that CEOs need to purge all their stuff on their employees.
No,
That's not what we're
no.
implying. CEOs can find their masterminds with other CEOs that they build trust. They can hire coaches like ourselves. That is their safe place to purge that. But trying to do it without additional supports is a recipe for disaster. And so really being able to understand that, creating that community. And I want to talk to you before we get off about what are the systems and processes in your business. What are the processes in your business that you can put into place so that it doesn't have as much pressure? Is your calendar filled to the brim where you don't even have time to sit and think and breathe to just like collect your thoughts? Are you going from working in your home office to you come out and then boom, you're right into parenting and you're right into homeschooling, or get in your car, drive around the block, for 5 minutes, and that's your transition time? Or like what things can be set up so that it's not all on you, so that we can alleviate some of that pressure. We already talked about creating the community, finding your people and your place to have those vulnerable conversations and to purge, and creating that culture within the organization so that people feel like, hey, I can come in and purge. Like if an employee came in and completely sobbed, snot, cursing, would you have the skill set
Wow.
to be that safe container?
Wow.
And if you're sitting there going, oh man, I don't think I have that skill set, that would make me uncomfortable. I would, try to be like, buck up, it'll be okay. Like, then reach out to us and I will train you in that skill set. You know what I mean? But like, what are the processes that people can put in place so that we can alleviate some of the pressure that everybody's dealing with right now?
But Sarah,
That's my
when you said that just now, the only thing I could also think about was, instead of you, it's not even about having the skill set. What would you do? Would you take it personal that the person's cussing and hooing and howing and crying that, oh, it's personal, they're talking about me? Or you also have the skill to just listen, because most times it's an ear that someone wants. That's all. And so you just stay quiet. You stay quiet. So you talk about systems and processes. I think the system of play, process of play, right? Put that ping pong table in there. Put the pool table in there. Go and beat somebody up on ping pong. Put video games. You. What I've noticed in COVID, what I've noticed is, you tend to do more work when you're home. People fail to realize that when you've played and your neurons and everything are shooting boom boom, because I don't have the science behind it, you may have the science because you're good at that, Sarah, that your brain is opening when you go and attack a problem, when you attack whatever the task is. You're out of the box thinking rather than tired and the first thing that comes to your mind, you go, okay, I'm going to take that, versus multiple things I shouldn't. Let me try that, because you're fresh. I think play should be one of the number one systems processes you should have in there.
Yep. And even if you schedule it of this is going to be when we play, and if you do team like agency wide and you're like, this is our play date, we will create all kinds of play dates for our children, but we don't think we're worthy enough to be able to play. So create your own adult play dates within your team, and schedule that and create that team unity, create that culture of play where we are honoring our mental health. Because that is what is going to create innovation, creativity, problem solving, higher productivity. So your bottom line actually increases, right? One of the things I had to do personally is I would get so in the zone. I would have no track of what time it was. And then I would realize, oh my gosh, because my kids are old enough now where they don't want to hang out with me. They're playing with the neighbors. And I would be like, oh my gosh, I just continued to work because I was so in the zone that it's now 6:30. I haven't even thought about dinner. I haven't checked any homework. And now the entire evening is behind and I'm stressed out because I'm going, we have to do homework. We have to hurry up and eat, hurry. And so then I'm going on my kids like, hurry up and eat faster. Why does it take you 30 minutes to eat? Now we're going to be late for bath and you still have to do your 20 minutes of reading each night and and I need to get you in bed by a certain time so that you're not cranky the next, and this snowball. Woo! And so what I ended up doing is I put an alarm on my phone so that every day my alarm will ring and I know, okay, I need to wrap up whatever I'm doing and be done for the night. Because if I don't stop now, all the dominoes, the snowball is going to roll down the hill and there's going to be collateral damage as it's going.
Wow.
So a simple, we're not talking about that. I mean, if y'all are ready for Wulwyn to automate your systems and really get you more efficient, then yes, like he can do that. That's like the big picture, like digging in. If you're wanting simple, like I can do this today, I could set an alarm on my phone to go off every day at this time in order to have time for play and family and fun and da-da-da-da. We don't have to overcomplicate things, y'all. Just set an alarm on your phone.
So you talk about you're waiting for Wulwyn to come to test, to come in and audit. How about you? You know, people, and I think I'll close with this because we're almost 30 minutes in there. We started late, y'all, so we will use our 30. We're not going at 11:30. So if you remember, Sarah, when I think we had our second or third conversation at your office, and I said to you, oh my goodness, Sarah, I'm hanging with my wife and she says, I want you to do this. And I go, no, I want to go and I want to go to the gym. I want to go. I don't think I can do that, honey. I gotta go to the gym. See you, bye. And I get in my car and I go and I leave the house. Both of us are upset. I come back in and she's and I exercise. I'm good. And I think it was you who said, "Hey, here are the steps in uncovering and approaching this." And it was, honey, can you do X, Y, Z? And I go, yes, I can. Is it urgent? If it's not urgent, or if it is, I can do it. But my plan is I need to go to the gym. I really want to go to the gym, spend an hour and a half or two. So is this something that I could do before or after? And she goes, oh no, you're good. You can go to the gym and come back and do it. And it was an aha moment for me. And I'm going, oh, you mean there was a solution for this? So what I just explained is, so she talked about auditing systems, and this is a people aspect of Sarah that she brings to the table, and you'll be surprised of the different people things that we do in life and in our businesses that affect our entire life wheel, which consists of our spiritual, our family, our personal, the business, just every single thing, kids, etc. That people and process can come in and audit those things and create solutions for you. And the solution that she created for me, how it was 30 minutes, 45 minutes breakthrough. And I was like, you're good, huh? Oh, Sarah.
That's the thing is, as humans, I think we just overcomplicate things.
Yes.
And so let's simplify, right? Like, let's just keep it simple and release that pressure. And at the end of the day, know that if you are looking for that safe space, that we are always a resource and that safe space and community. So if you are that CEO who's at the top and who's feeling overwhelmed, and no matter where you're at, you feel like you don't belong, we are a resource to you. Like we never want anybody out there suffering alone in silence and feeling like they can't talk to somebody. So you can always talk to us. We are that safe space.
It's been an excellent one, Sarah.
Yeah.
I think the idea of going in and building a community and sistering, making sure that we have a place where we can be a safe places, right? Safe houses, safe locations that we can express ourselves and cope with what needs to be done. It could be your coping with spiritual coping, could be things that you do to make sure that you're on point. And we talked about a couple systems and processes in there. One was, building a community, building a culture, and then playing.
Yeah.
Sarah, you want to take us home? Sure.
So what I was going to end on is and one of the things that I want to stress more than anything is you are worthy of receiving that support. Your life is worthy of receiving that support. And so reach out for it. Because people don't know.
When you said that just now, I heard it. I heard it. And when I say I heard it, it was for me. I'm worthy. I mean, just that I'm worthy is enough, Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys as always. We are not going to be here next week because I'm going to be on family vacation, and we're honoring and respecting boundaries. So, and don't let Wulwyn fool you. He's going to be celebrating with his wife because it's her birthday. So we are taking the week off next week to really honor our families and play and have fun together, because we don't just talk the talk. We practice what we preach, y'all. We walk the walk.
Hey, you guys have a good one. See you week after next.
See you in 2 weeks. Thanks.
Bye-bye.